We are live, TJ, on Facebook, Friday night, 7:30, live with TJ. Hi, TJ.
Hi, Michelle, and everyone else. How is everyone this week?
Well, I'm great. How about you? Have you had a good week? I don't know where the weeks are going, TJ, but here we are, Friday again.
No, the day just flies by. It's just got away from us yet again.
I know, it flies by. I want to shout out to Santosh who's watching. So hi Santosh, and glad you could be with us on a Friday night. We're going to have a general chit chat tonight. Just a conversation just to catch up with you, TJ, how your week's been before we get, just to allow people a chance to come on board for 7:30, which is in about a minute or so. But tonight's conversation is all about comfort zones, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, just how your week's gone first, TJ. How's it gone?
Yeah, it's been like you. It's just been so busy. I've been trying to do work. I've been trying to help the kids do work and trying to get on top of stuff. I've got lots of new stuff going on. And also, I've just looked forward to everyone being here. So anyone that's on here today, if you're a newbie, put hashtag newbie. If you're watching this on replay, put hashtag replay. And if you're just with us now, we are so happy you're here.
You could hashtag that live, couldn't you? Hashtag live.
Yes, hashtag live.
Hashtag live if you're with us. Hashtag replay if you're watching it on replay. And the other one was what, TJ?
Newbie.
Newbie. I know Laura's watching. One of our regular Lauras. So hiya, Laura. Thank you for joining us.
And everyone else, like and share. Share it out to everyone out there. The more people that see this, the more people we can help. And it's great to chat to everyone.
Yeah. So your week's been good. Busy.
It's been great. It's been really, really busy. I've been speaking to lots of people. Some people have been telling me that, they're still quite lonely out there, Michelle.
Okay.
And I feel a little bit, that we need to reach more people because there's still many people out there. And then I spoke to a couple of other people who said, oh, what have you been up to? Because somebody's told me that you're all on there. So I've been sharing it so that more people can be listening in and we can be helping them.
Yeah, top fan. My mum's watching. Hi, mum. And you're absolutely right, TJ. We need as many people to share, send us some gold stars, send us some hearts, like it, start liking it and sharing it now so your mates can come online too. Because tonight is all about coming out of our comfort zones and what happens. And sometimes it's all too easy just to stay inside our comfort zone. So that's what tonight is all about. But this week is crazy. I can't believe it's Friday. It's just been mad, crazy busy. Yeah. What else have you been doing, TJ?
I wanted to get a little bit done in the garden and get some stuff to the tip, but unfortunately the weather's been taken away. But I've been out there exercising with my children and my husband on the times where the rain has stopped. We've been out there and I've done some serious off-road biking. I'm sure I'm battered and bruised from top to bottom. But I've had a great time. It's been awesome. What about you, Michelle? What have you been up to?
Oh, well, today I've been looking after my little one, doing a bit of work in the week. I try and get into the office twice a week just to kind of ease the pressure and get on with some work that I need to get on with because it's hard at home juggling. But yeah, it's flying by. I saw my parents today. We've got Father's Day coming up this weekend, so we're kind of getting preparation for that. And we're going to have some, our parents over for a little Barbie. But yeah, it's just been mad, crazy busy. And here we are Friday. But have you done anything? Tonight is all about coming out of your comfort zone and feeling the fear. But so I'll ask you a question, TJ. Have you done anything this week that's taken you out of your comfort zone?
Yes, I'm always trying to learn a little bit more about something. So learning some stuff that I didn't know about before always takes me a little bit more out of my comfort zone, and I'm always trying to do a little bit more with the internet, which takes me well out of my comfort zone.
So comfort zone is how to get out of your comfort zone, and fear is a natural and essential part of growth. And every time we consciously choose to step outside of our comfort zone, the next uncomfortable thing just becomes a little bit easier. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. It is scary getting out there. It's a bit like exercising, you know. I used to exercise a lot. I used to be nice and slim. It was a very long time ago. And now I'm trying to get back because I want to get fit and healthy, and I want to show the family that that's also the right way to go, you know, to try and keep us all that bit healthier. But getting out there, you start thinking, oh, well, what will people think? Will I be able to do it? How will I look? I'll look a right sweaty mess. Everyone will be looking at me.
So is it fearful? Is it, until you take that first step, is it the thought of it makes it fearful? Is that what you're saying?
Definitely. It's that first step. It's not even getting out there. It's the signing up to a program or agreeing to go.
Yeah. So
I'm sure there's lots of people out there that are just like me, thinking exactly the same.
But it's all about just taking small steps, isn't it, to overcome whatever it is you're fearful of that's stopping you and holding you back. And Lena, let's ask the audience that are watching to kind of share the things that what makes you feel uncomfortable? Is it interviews? Is it going on a first date? Is it COVID-19? What are you fearful of? What makes you uncomfortable? Or what makes you uncomfortable? What makes you uncomfortable, TJ?
I can tell you what used to make me feel uncomfortable. I'm quite lucky that I've explored a lot of my fears now. But I used to be very scared about reading out aloud because I'm dyslexic. So I found some words quite difficult, and I remember when I was young, I used to find just reading out aloud, I wasn't a good reader, and I had to really practice to try and make it much better, but I used to be really worried about that.
And how did you overcome that then? Because I guess you're okay reading out loud now.
Yeah, I'm great reading out loud now, but I also accept that, I'm not bothered about telling people I'm dyslexic, but I also do my best. So if I know I've got a presentation, I will be practicing the things that I need to read beforehand, and then I might record it on my phone just to see what it looks like or sounds like. But I'm quite lucky. I've been a teacher for quite a few years, so I'm used to reading out loud and speaking to everyone. But the first time in front of lots of people in a school hall, I was really, really nervous.
Yeah.
But it was a case of get up there and do it. You know, and what's the worst is going to happen? That somebody's going to laugh at you? Well, I can laugh at myself, so I'm all right with that. I could be booed off. Well, I might be booed off, but I'll be all right with that as well. You know, I'll just have to... You've got to have wider shoulders and think, if I've tried something, and at least I've tried it.
Yeah. For me, I will take some of what the audience, so the audience that are watching tonight, what makes you uncomfortable? What situations make you feel uncomfortable? So yours used to be reading out loud. For me, it's not planning. I like to be able to plan. And much as I can think on my feet, and as a teacher, you have to do that a lot. You have to think on your feet the whole time. You're kept on your feet, that's for sure. But not planning, not I don't like winging things. I like to plan things and talk from my heart. So not planning makes me feel uncomfortable. But you just get over that and wing it if you need to wing it, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. But it is important to go with a plan in mind. I think even like when you're going for interviews and everything else, practice all the questions that you might be asked and what you might say. You're always going to get asked a question that you never ever thought you might get asked about.
But you can try, can't you?
Thing it, isn't it?
Yeah, you can try and work out kind of what questions you're going to be asked. My mum says she hates change because it means you have to deal with the unknown. So it's the unknown that can make people, or certainly for my mum, makes her feel uncomfortable. How can we help her deal with that, being more comfortable with it?
And I think that is difficult. You can look at all the different scenarios that it could possibly be. But sometimes it's working out what would be the worst thing that could possibly happen, and then everything else you could easily deal with.
See, excuse me, fear of the unknown, which is what really is the fear that makes my mum particularly uncomfortable. Fear of the unknown. When you start worrying about things that aren't even happened yet, that haven't even happened yet, that, you know, you're worrying about things that are out of your control, and you're worrying about things that, you know, that haven't even happened yet. And the things that you're going to be most worrying about, the most fearful of, are the things you're going to manifest into your reality if you keep focusing on it. So you've got to stop focusing on what you're, of that unknown, stop focusing on the fear of the unknown, because all that's going to do is make you uncomfortable for no reason whatsoever, because it's about being in the present, not worrying about the future. So stop worrying, Mum, about the unknown, what's to be, what's going to come, because what is to be is going to be, but be in the present and stop worrying about the future. That's my advice to you. And like you say, Mum, live every day as if it's your last. Don't worry and be fearful of the unknown, because what will be will be. Just live in the present. Rob, hi to Rob, he's watching. Trish has written, playing sports used to make me feel uncomfortable. Yeah, so playing sports, because, and I think Trish would say, you know, the fear of being picked last, you know, in the teams, when children used to pick teams and whose side they wanted you on, and you've got poor people standing there at the end of the line and thinking they don't want me, I'm not being picked, and that can make people feel uncomfortable. I think, however, since Trisha started working and has been working at Reactivate and got involved with a lot of the sports that we do, I think she's actually started enjoying sports. Tell me if I'm right, Trish, just let us know. But because you've written, it used to make you feel uncomfortable, but you actually feel more comfortable now. Rob Nunn, he says, man plans, God laughs, a Jewish proverb. What man plans make you feel uncomfortable? My mum's written in response, not worrying about, but when change happens, which it does, you have to deal with it. Yes, that change, it's about coming to a place of acceptance of that change, whatever that change may be. It may not, I think only the change makes you uncomfortable for just a short period of time, because you soon adjust and adapt. We are, you know, magnificent creatures that can easily adapt and become comfortable with what was uncomfortable, because once you've done it and once that change has happened, you deal with it. So there's no point worrying about it. And my mum's written that is acceptance. Rob also agrees that I think that means accepting that things happen. Absolutely. Accepting things happen and accepting things are going to change, because if things don't change, we will stagnate and harden, or things will stagnate and harden. You know, the way we shop, for example, you know, my nan wouldn't be able to switch on a computer and learn to shop that way, but the way we shop is different, and you have to go with the change, you have to go with the flow, go with the times, and if we don't, we kind of stagnate and harden. So change is inevitable, Mum. Change, and for anyone else watching who doesn't like change is inevitable, and it's coming to a place of acceptance of whatever comes your way or whatever things that may change. Yeah, it's out of some things are out of your control, but things are going to change. You is coming to know that that's going to happen.
Someone that's starting a new job, that change in those first days, that really puts you out of your comfort zone, doesn't it?
It does.
Meeting a whole new crowd, job expectations. What would you suggest to them, Michelle?
Well, for some people, you know, in terms of going for that job interview, and I'd say going visualizing in your mind's eye exactly how you want it to be before you go for that job interview. But meeting a whole new crowd of people on your first day of work, you've been accepted for that job, it's your first day at work, and you're walking into an environment that already has a dynamic, and you're going in as a new person, changing that dynamic. I think, you know, that you go into that knowing that you can bring more to that environment, and that actually people are going to like you. You go in with a warm and friendly smile, you know, confidence in your voice, eye contact, and you go out of your way just to be authentic, be yourself, be genuine, because people can't not like you when you're nice, genuine, friendly, you know. And that's how you kind of tackle your first day in a new environment, I suppose. Also,
great idea, yeah.
Also your self-talk. Trish is saying she changed her self-talk from I can't do this to this is easy for me. So again, another tool to come out of your comfort zone to help you with situations that make you feel uncomfortable is positive affirmations, positive self-talk. So when something's difficult for you, it might be taking exams, it might be meeting your date's parents or your girlfriend or boyfriend's parents, or it might be, going for a job interview. It's starting with the end in mind and actually saying, this is easy for me, and giving a positive affirmation about it. I'm going to shout out hi to Sam who's watching and Natasha who's watching. The question we're talking about tonight and the topic we're talking about is about comfort zones, and I've asked some people to say, what makes you uncomfortable? What gets you, what situations make you feel uncomfortable? It could be walking into a crowded place. What is scary for you? Rob is saying the interviewer sees dozens of people pretending to be what they think the role means. Interviewers are, let me read this, I'm just going to click more. Interviewers are desperate to meet people that are just themselves, and I 100% agree. Be yourself, smile, and when you're going for an interview, if interviews make you feel uncomfortable, know that you're interviewing them as much as they're interviewing you. And then that kind of puts you at ease also, because the focus just isn't on you. Your focus is now, actually, is this the right place I want to be in? Is this the right place that is right for me? So when you look at that, it kind of eases, it naturally puts you at ease anyway. But what makes you uncomfortable? So for me, I said it's being put on the spot. I like to plan. So I do like the chance to be able to plan what I'm going to say. But, at the end of the day, if I do need to think on my feet, I think on my feet, and you do as the best job you can at that moment in time. But
I've got a really common one for you that I bet that everyone at some point or another has faced or is going to face. What about when you've got to meet your new partner's family? And sometimes being yourself might not be quite the way that they might expect you to be with their child.
Look, you've got to be yourself, haven't you? Yeah, that's the only way that, be authentic, be genuine, and just know that they like you. Go into meeting your other half's parents or family, knowing that they're going to like you. And this is easy for me. And I'm going to talk, and I'm going to be warm and friendly, and conversation will flow. It's talking positively to yourself and having that positive self-talk and the, positive affirmations, saying how you want it to be, rather than focusing on the worry. Because when we focus on the worry, you bring more of what you're worried about into your reality. Sam has written on that note, hi, I feel like I'm feeling like I'm being judged, such as the interview situations, and also worry about being accepted. Sam, I'll say to you, just be you, because you are an amazing person, and you're certainly accepted at Reactivate, so you've got no worries there, and hopefully no more interviews for you going forward. But, you can only be you, and just know and have faith and confidence in yourself that you are a great person. Being judged, everybody makes judgments, don't they? In fact, when you meet people for the first time, they say that it takes 3 seconds for someone to form an opinion about you, and then it takes 10 seconds for someone to cement an opinion about you, to actually fix that opinion about you based on that first 3 seconds of meeting you. And then for some people, once that opinion is set, once that judgment has been made, that can stick with you for weeks, months, even years. And no matter how you prove yourself to be any different, that person can't shake off that impression or that judgment they've made. It can sometimes take weeks, months, years for people to change their judgment about you. Do you understand what I mean, TJ?
That is definitely true. I know that I used to teach interview techniques many years ago, and I met lots of different companies that were going to take on apprenticeships over the years, and they also said the same thing, that someone would walk into the room, they would start down at the bottom looking at their shoes to see whether they'd made the effort to polish them, whether they'd ironed their trousers. It didn't really make so much difference if they were old. It was more about the effort they had made of it. And then as they got up, you know, they'd look at the top and then they'd go on how they greeted, were they smiling, were they too forceful, were they too shy, you know, and that was before the person had even opened their mouth. So
appearance and presentation.
You do make that impression.
You do, and you know, appearance and presentation, especially at interview, is important. I remember having a debate in one of the sessions, one of the groups, and one of the guys, he said, I don't see why I should have to get dressed up and be smart, be presentable at an interview when I just want to be me. And this was a guy who we'd previously worked with, and he believed that he was covered in tattoos, and he believed that his tattoos all over his face, neck, that he thought that was the reason why he wasn't getting any jobs. And when we told him that actually you're going to sometimes have to do things you don't want or that you're uncomfortable with, and he was uncomfortable conforming, what he thought would be conforming, because it was going against his being unique and different. And I said, look, if you go to an interview and smarten yourself up and come to these, you know, I didn't even say come to these sessions, but come presentable. Do you know what? From that moment on in the group sessions, he used to come, he was the smartest guy on the program. And from that point, he then had an interview, and he got the interview only because he listened to the advice and said that he did conform, he did smarten up his appearance. And guess what? He got the job. It didn't matter about the tattoos all over his face. The fact that he wanted to be, the fact he wanted to be a tattoo artist, you know, is the right job for him. Sam says handshakes are a big one for some people. What they make you feel uncomfortable, perhaps. Perhaps for someone who, you know, perhaps doesn't know how to handshake, might be that reason, or what kind of handshake do I give? Am I too strong? Am I too do I want to touch them at all? Or it could be for cleanliness, which is a bit like me really, in terms of wanting to shake people's hands. You know, that could make you uncomfortable if you've got OCD tendencies or you're funny about germs. I mean, now the COVID gives people a great, perfect excuse not to shake hands when you meet people. So that's taken off my shoulders naturally. But it's rude, isn't it, if you don't shake someone's hand, or if you shake people's hands and they're sweaty. That's the worst thing.
Oh, nice. Real nice. No.
But then some people get sweaty, and it you know, when people get uncomfortable, it comes out in your body, doesn't it? Some people have sweaty.
You know you're going to be like that. You help your hands beforehand and keep a hanky in your pocket. It will keep you dry right up until that last moment.
Yeah. Rob Nunn says, I absolutely agree. Your CV gets you through the door. The interviewer has already decided you're qualified. Let's have a look. You're qualified. And what they want to know in an interview is who you are. Do you fit in with the company, and will you be a good fit? And I absolutely agree with that, Rob, because most people, when they look at a CV and they decide who they want to interview, they kind of know who they really want from what they've seen on paper. They're just seeing if it actually could fit with the organisation. He's also saying always a firm handshake. I personally don't like those wet, little, tiny ones, the feeble ones. You might as well not handshake at all. I do agree, a good, firm handshake. And look people in the eyes when you handshake. Santosh is saying, so she's recently decided to change her job as she felt she was too comfortable where she was. And she says, I know that some think I am mad to change my job during these uneasy times. But like you said, Michelle, you need to get yourself out of your comfort zone. And I really felt it on my heart that I needed a change and to really follow my inner voice. And it's difficult to block out other people's negative influences. And my hat goes off to you, Santosh, especially at these times, to be able to have the courage and confidence to leave a job that you've listened to your inner voice that's saying, I'm ready for change, I need to go. You know, and listening to that inner voice, because your inner voice, your gut feeling is never wrong. And although it's in unprecedented times right now, but you've got to go with your feeling. And you say it's difficult to block out other people's negative influences, especially if it's someone that you're living with that's giving you the negativity. You've got to be able to deal with that? I mean, what would you advise on that, TJ, in terms of living with someone with negativity?
I think, their negativity could be, if you're living with them, could be that they're just worried and concerned for you. But you can take on board and listen to what they say, but then know that you're going to go forward. You can look at all the goals and the positive things you can do, and share it with them. These are the successes we're going to go with, and just keep giving those positives and saying, I'm going to do well, I'm going to do fine. And they will come along with you. Or maybe, they're also not the ones for you, because anyone that loves you, although they will have concerns and share them with you if they're concerned, they should also say, but whatever you do, I will support you in doing that too.
Absolutely. And just finishing on that job interview one, Harris has said, be confident but not cocky confident. And Rob is saying absolutely. And I agree with that. It's a fine line between being confident, having overconfidence and presenting as arrogant or cockiness. But yeah, if you do a lot of smiling in your interview, that might help too. But I've got some tips here in terms of, 10 ways to kind of like overcome your fear and break through your comfort zone. The first one is to take nothing for granted. And when I say, I've learned a lot through suffering as much as I have success. And I'm grateful for that suffering too, because that's been part of my journey. Suffering has led me to a place where I take nothing for granted, or I try and take nothing for granted. When you avoid taking your business or your relationships for granted, it's harder to be complacent. But yeah, learning through suffering. To be honest, TJ, in terms of how Reactivate started, I was actually well out of my comfort zone. I don't know if you know kind of the background, TJ, of how it came about, but as you know, I was in a school, had a cushy job, I was an assistant head, and yes, I was working all of the hours God sends, and I would be probably one of the first in and the last out. And I saw too many kids drop out of the education system, and I wanted to set something up that would allow the kids who found school difficult. I wanted to set up as an alternative education provision initially. And I remember having a conversation with the head and saying, I'd like to go part-time. Can I go part-time to set the business up? And that was in September 2011. And he reluctantly let me go part-time. And I thank Martin for that. And I worked 3 days a week, and to be honest, the other 2 days I based myself in a pub in Bedford, drank lots of coffee and hot chocolate, and did a lot of networking, joined lots of networking, women's business links and so on. And to cut a long story short, because I don't want to take up people's time too much on a Friday evening, but I met this, I pretended I had a business, I was helping the odd kid out, and then I met a company through somebody that I'd met, and this company was in Luton. He was the A, the Apprenticeship Trust, and there was me, R, Reactivate, and there was the M, the Multi-Heritage Organisation in Bedford, and we decided to form a collaboration, a partnership called the ARM Foundation, which took the first letters of our individual businesses. And it was doing this on a much bigger scale, reaching out to people and giving them job outcomes in a warehouse. So come September 2013, actually May 2013, I decided to leave the school full time, which is the only thing I'd really ever done in terms of my career, and give this a shot on a full-time basis. So cut a long story short, I invested 20 grand into the business, and then so I remortgaged my flat to get that 20 grand, left my job, and come the September 2013, I actually realised, and a few of us around the table, there was about 20 of us who had invested money, we actually realised the person we'd invested in with was a fraudster and had been in and out of prison. No one had done their due diligence on him, so that's a big learning curve for me. And so come September,
you lost everything.
I lost it all. We did, none of us got any of it back.
Terrible.
So I lost 20 grand. I was now jobless, and then I thought, oh my God, I've got to make Reactivate a business. I've got to make this work. And I started writing bids left, right and centre. And then 6 weeks into that, it was October the 19th, 2013. I remember getting the phone call from my mum in the morning. I just got back from Dubai and I missed a call at 7 in the morning. I thought, that's odd, why is my mum ringing me so early? And cut a long story short, it was tragic news that I'd lost my younger brother in an accident.
Really bad.
So in the space of 6 weeks, I'd found out I'd been ripped off, lost 20 grand, had left my job and was now jobless. And then I found out I'd lost my brother. So that kind of wiped out that first autumn term mentally, emotionally. And
How did you pick yourself up from that though? Because that's just like everything, isn't it?
yeah, but you know, life throws things at you, and you've got to have the strength and the inner courage and confidence to pick yourself up and brush yourself down and move on. And you know, I was there for my parents emotionally, and you know, you've just come to a place of acceptance, because if you hold on to anger, bitterness, you know, resentment, all it will do is put you at dis-ease. So I knew I had to keep on going. So through another friend, I was introduced to somebody else who ran a fitness military company up in the north of England. And I thought, oh, not another partnership. I'm gonna, liable to be ripped off again, and I'll make sure I do my due diligence. But I ended up writing a bid for Luton. It was thanks to Luton Borough Council at the time, because we put a bid in, and it was working with 19 to 29-year-olds at risk of gang culture and lawlessness across Luton. And at the time in 2014-15, there were a lot of postcode wars, a lot of murders and so on and so forth. So we would go into the heart of the communities at Marsh Farm and Hockwell Ring and Lucy Farm and all those places, and recruit people off the streets at 9-10 o'clock at night and say, look, we're Reactivate, we're here to deliver an amazing program. And from then we won that. After winning that contract, it kind of put Reactivate on the map, and from there we then started working with job centres, to long-term unemployed, to those with mental health issues. We had contracts with schools, with the PRUs, with kids who were kicked out of mainstream school, and we kind of started building a good reputation, started working with ex-offenders, had contracts with probation, and that's how the business has grown and grown and grown. So we are almost 7 years into doing the business full time. And Harris has said, for each hurdle you conquer, the stronger you become. So going back to my step one, I wanted to just share a little bit, because step number one is taking nothing for granted, learning through your sufferings as much as I have through successes. And that's my step number one. Take nothing for granted, and know that all of your tests become your testimonies. And I say that to each and every one of you watching tonight. Your tests become your testimonies. You are strong enough to cope with whatever comes your way. And it does come, coming to a place of acceptance on a lot of things that are beyond your control. You have no control over some of the things that come your way. And
you must have had some days where you just thought, oh my God, I'm not sure I can do this, babe.
No, I was fortunate. I had a good network of people around me, and if I was down, my mum would be up. If my mum was down, I would be up, and the people around me would support each other. We had a good network of friends and family that help you through. But your own inner conversations, your own self-talk helps massively to know that you cannot change what's been. You can only change your response to those things. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
So that's for me. Step number one is take nothing for granted. 2, switch up your routine. Routines are about as much about being comfortable, and switch it up. Get out, get uncomfortable with your routine. Stop doing the same thing every time. Small shake-ups in your routine might lead you to meet new people, or seeing different sites, which help kickstart ideas for work or your personal life. So yeah, switch up your routine, because it means your routine, what you do on a day-to-day basis, is comfortable for you and you do it normally out of habit. Do something different. If you don't exercise in the morning first thing, try exercising first thing. Move towards your fears. The things you're afraid to do are often the things that have the greatest potential to expand your life. Do something that gets you fearful. If you're scared of spiders, pick a spider up and take it outside. If it's
I've done that. I've done that one.
Have you?
I was absolutely petrified of even the tiniest little spiders. I spent my whole life doing
Just
that.
got to grab a tissue.
My son was desperate for a spider.
Yeah.
And what I did is I kept going along to these shows where there was lots of spiders, and I would look at them in the things, then they went along, and then one day while I was speaking to somebody, I just popped this great big massive tarantula in my hand. And the next thing I knew, I was just letting it walk around on both of my hands.
Yeah.
And since then, I've been like, it's all right, it's all right.
I still kill them. Is that bad? I shouldn't say that.
That's bad.
I shouldn't say that live, should I? The whole Buddhist world and killing things, that's not the right thing. So I'm sorry for that big spider I killed this morning.
That's bad. Put it in the glass, put it out, let it be.
I know. Spiders are good, aren't they? Get rid of the bugs.
They do, they catch all flies and things like that you don't want in your house.
Yeah, for the people watching, what do you guys do to overcome your fears? What do you do to overcome your things that it makes you uncomfortable? Another one, a little one here. So we've got take nothing for granted, switch up your routine, move towards your fears, and the fourth one, give up control, giving up bits of control. So for me, running a business, giving up bits of control takes me out of my comfort zone, because you're entrusting somebody to do the job well. So for me, delegating and giving responsibility is something that I've actually got better with within this last year, and actually starting to get the right team around Reactivate and the right people on board means I can do that. But giving up control can help.
In your own home, that can even be a difficult one though, can't it? Because you think, oh, I won't make my partner do that because it's quicker and easier just for me to get on and do it. But then they start to feel
resentful.
That they're not happy because that's their time gone. They haven't managed to do something they wanted because they were clearing up after somebody else. And just things like that, isn't it? It is quite hard sometimes to give up that control.
Yeah. I'm learning it still, but I'm still learning. Sam says her Hoover is full of spiders. Sorry. Sam, when you've got to empty that Hoover, they probably all mated and you've got more.
Yeah, that's true. They'll be everywhere.
Number 5 for me is try something new until you feel comfortable. And that could be going in your minds, going there in the mind first before you go there in the body. But anything that you struggle with, try different approaches until it feels comfortable. And sometimes it will take a while to get comfortable. And then when you've mastered that, move to the next uncomfortable thing until it becomes comfortable. Also, ask questions other people don't like to ask. There's so many times, isn't there, people daren't put their hand up for fear of getting the question wrong or for looking stupid. But it means having frequent and open conversations with employees, with customers, to find out what their experiences was of the business, or to ask tough questions that address real issues. And earlier in the week, last week, I had a real good debate with Rob, who gave me a call following our conversation about the racism one. But that was a really stimulating conversation, Rob, so thank you. So ask questions other people don't like to. And start conversations perhaps with strangers. Have you ever done that, TJ?
I have. Sometimes it can be quite difficult. Sometimes you don't want the answers, or you're worried about what them answers can be. And sometimes you're thinking, how can I put that without, I want to have the conversation, but I don't want to offend someone by it.
But talking to strangers, you never know who you might meet. It's a great way to overcome shyness. And it's also a good way to learn amazing things about the world and other people.
And other people, it's amazing who you meet from nowhere that can tell you all sorts of things. And you look at them and you think, I'd have never guessed That's amazing.
Yeah. And synchronicity, the people you meet for a reason, and there's always a reason, whether that's for you to help them or for them to help you, or, you know, to do something in your life. It kind of often works out that way.
Yeah. Sometimes, especially like if you need something like in your business and things like that, you can often get lots of information that you never thought you would have done just by chance. It's surprising who knows who.
And I think it's quite amazing how when you are looking for people within an organisation, that you suddenly meet people at the right time. You meet the right people at the right time, and they come into your life, and the right people go out of your life. Lots of people come and go into the business, and the right people stay and the right people go, but you meet the right people at the time you're meant to meet them. And talking to strangers and synchronicity. I've got number 8, agree to something you wouldn't normally consider. You know, sometimes you get asked to do something and you might refuse to do it, but actually surprise yourself by saying yes. Always say yes. Agree to something you wouldn't normally do. Try a new strategy. Accept an invitation to join a sports club or a team event on the weekend. And even if it doesn't work out, you learn something from that experience.
You know, last year I went with my son. He's only 12, but he wants to be a zoologist, and he's mad for stuff. So we always go to the free science week over in Cambridge every year. It wasn't obviously on this year. And we went to this talk. To be honest, there wasn't any other children really there, apart from us, and there was a lot of adults there. And there was people that came to do free talks from all over the world. They've been through all sorts of experiences. And one of these men there was a famous TV person that had done lots of work with chimpanzees and everything else. And he said that he'd spoken to Jane Goodall, when she came for dinner at Cambridge University, and he was waiting on them. And he just got chatting to her, and she said to him, "Oh, could you do this?" And he turned around and said yes. He didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
And he said to everyone, just say yes to something and then work out how you're going to do it once you're there. He goes, there'll be a team around you that will be able to support you no matter where you go and what you do.
Absolutely.
He said, just say yes and work it out later. He said, you'll never regret it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you
will regret what you don't take up.
Yeah, you regret the things you don't do, not the things you do. So say yes more often. 9, I've got 2 more. 9, get in front of the camera. A bit like what we're doing tonight, TJ.
Yeah, definitely.
Get in front of the camera on a daily basis. Talk to the world. Create videos. Challenge yourself. Step out of your comfort zone and push yourself and put yourself out there on the internet. And I think
it did put us out of our comfort zone when we first did it in the beginning, didn't it?
Absolutely. It was out of your comfort zone in terms of technology and getting it working and how do we do it. But actually getting in front of the camera and being out there, and you know, educating people, and putting yourself out there on the internet and starting to get a following. So get in front of the camera. That's what I'd say. Get out of your comfort zone.
And one thing I definitely learned for everyone was that when you think that you need to have everything first and it needs to all be perfect, no, you learn as you go along.
Yeah.
Just get out there, give it a go. You will not regret it.
Stop.
You'll learn as you go along.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever going to be perfect.
Don't wait for the perfect moment. Create the perfect moment. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Create that perfect moment, because there's never going to be a perfect moment. You just got to take that leap of faith and do it. And my last one is keep a list of growth goals, things that, you know, that are going to help you take a risk or explore new challenges or explore a new idea. It could be for some people public speaking. But, you know, try and read that list, that growth goals of the things you want to do at the end of every day, because that habit of reading that list holds you to account. And it forces you to take those steps during the day of reading those list of growth goals of things that you want to do. So that's my kind of 10 things you can do to help you step outside of your comfort zone. But it's about, you know, going there, visualizing positive affirmations, positive self-talk. And please like and share this page. We've been talking almost for 45 minutes. And Rob is saying, how about just be the best version of you every day? Have you nicked that from me, Rob? Because that's one of my that's one of my lines. It must be Nat at home saying, be the best version of you every day. But yeah, thank you for that, Rob.
It's true. You should try to be the best version of you all of the time.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel good. Step out of your comfort zone and be the best of you. Because when you've gone out there and you've done it, the after feeling, it's so good. You're like, oh, I'm proud of myself. Even if it's gone wrong, I still feel proud of myself because I think I gave it a go.
Yeah.
And next time, I know what I'm going to do better. I always feel like that.
Yeah, he's put it's from Simon Sinek, but I guess Simon nicked it from me. But be the best you can be. I used to say, be the best you can be in a great place to be. And the great place to be is the here and now. Make the most of it. Get uncomfortable. Do something. I challenge you all between now and next week, and then share your thoughts of what's happened to you in next week's session. Because I'm going to ask you next week, and remind me, TJ, to do this. But I want you to do something that gets you uncomfortable in this next week, and then share that with us of what you did that made you feel uncomfortable, that you challenged yourself out of your comfort zone. So do something that takes you out of your comfort zone and share with us next Friday. So I hope that's been helpful. Give us a 1 if you think our conversation tonight has been helpful, a 2 if you think it's not helped at all, and anything else from you, TJ?
It's been great speaking to you and sharing everything with everyone. Obviously, make sure you like and share this. Everyone can have a listen back afterwards. And make sure that you come and join Reactivate, a brand new me, on our group, because we are sharing lots of things, and and if you want any more help and support, then you'll find us there.
Yeah, so 1 if you've liked the conversation tonight, and a 2 if you haven't, it's not been of any benefit. So thank you to Rob, 1, Santosh, awesome, 1, Sam, 1, thank you so much. Trish is a thank you. So yeah, we look forward. Thank you ever so much for tuning in with us. It's myself and TJ every Friday night at 7:30. So do something that takes you out of your comfort zone and share with us next week. Have a safe week and see you next Friday.
Have a great weekend. See you next week.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.